It's Spy Against Spy. We are the Spy Fi guys, and This Means War.
Welcome to the Spy Fi guys.
So I apologize to the universe for that.
Yes. Wow.
Justice for Denison!
Is it though?
I laughed, and then I hated myself for laughing. Hello and welcome back to the Spy Fi guys, where we cover spy fact, spy fiction, and everything in between. I'm Zach.
And I'm Christian.
And Christian, I never ask how you're doing. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. So, listeners, we always record a little bit in advance, and we are having a very cold, snowy day today. Probably the biggest snow we've had in probably at least 5 years, maybe. I don't know. When was the last big snowstorm?
Not that I can recall. It's not too bad right now. I just went out and did some shoveling. But Christian, I wanted to share how I was doing. I'm feeling romantic today.
Oh, Zach, you're married, and I am too, so let's not have that happen.
No, I'm in a romantic mood. My wife helped me with the shoveling, and then she cooked me breakfast, and I got
Oh.
some tea to talk about this very romantic movie called This Means War.
Yeah, it's like I feel like they all came out around the same time. When did this come out? 2012? This, and then there was Night and Day, and then there was Killers. So there's like a bunch of like spy romantic comedy fusion movies that came out around that time.
Plus a little bit of horror, just like in Night and Day. We can talk about that.
Let's talk about that when we get there. Yeah. So had you seen this movie before?
I had not, but I remembered when the trailers came out.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? Had you seen it before?
I did. I saw this in theaters, actually. And for me, okay, sure, it's a spy movie. But also, I enjoyed the weird alternate universe Trekness of it because you have the J.J. Abrams, the Kelvin versus Captain Kirk versus Tom Hardy, who at this time was probably most famous for playing a clone of Jean-Luc Picard. So it's really Kirk versus Picard in this.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is kind of weird to think about.
Uh-huh.
Of course, Tom Hardy, he's just in a bunch of things now.
Yeah, now he's...
Usually with stuff over his face.
Yeah, I'm talking like this.
I still see him mostly as Mad Max, personally.
All right, well, I never saw that. That's just... The movie was never, I think, not my cup of tea, so I never seen it. But for me, I don't know. What's he most famous as for me? Might be Bane, actually.
Why do you even have Tom Hardy be Bane? Why not just get like a stunt guy to do it? I always thought that was weird.
You
can't see him. You can't see his face.
Yes, but his physicality. Come on. And also, who else is going to do that goofy voice?
Well, we can just dub it over.
Yeah.
By the way, one last thing about Tom Hardy. If you're curious, he is in Band of Brothers, by the way.
Of course he is. Everyone's in Band of Brothers.
But he's super young in it, so that's...
Wait, when did that come out, Band of Brothers?
2001.
Okay, because he was in Layer Cake with Daniel Craig. What year was that? Must have been 2004, I think. Yeah, so that was later. But he is baby-faced in that. I mean, he's still kind of baby-faced here, but also just the fact... One of the things that I kept noticing is, like, he's not that tall.
Well, compared to Chris Pine, yeah. And they make it a plot point, too.
And then which of course made me think of Bane, because I'm like, he looks so huge and imposing in that. So they really played those camera angles right. Because I think Christian Bale is probably like a six foot something. So to make him seem equal to him, they really played those angles. And also he got ripped for that movie, too. Anyways, enough talking about The Dark Knight Rises. So, shall we get into our plot?
Plot synopsis.
Yeah, so as always, we have our plot synopses. The spoilers begin right here, if you're curious. So here is our haiku for This Means War. A love triangle. Escalating sabotage. Eskimo brothers.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that. Double Eskimo brothers.
I got to tell my wife what that meant, which was awesome.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Remember the last 2 minutes of the movie, they learned that they are.
Oh, man.
For those of you who don't know what Eskimo brothers means, it means two men who have slept with the same woman, which we learned in the last 2 minutes of the movie. Okay, so here's the limerick for This Means War. There once were a couple spy Joes who didn't put bros before hoes. They soon put their tactics ahead of their ethics and ended up coming to blows.
All right, that's good. That's good. I like it.
Thank you. I think that may be one of the best ones of all time, if I do say so
Yeah.
myself. Here's the IMDb plot summary. CIA agents and best friends Franklin and Tuck discover that they are in love with the same woman. Each of them then decides to win her over by using their own skills. By the way, did you notice that this movie is directed by McGee, the director of
McG
I Spy?
and
McGee,
both
whatever.
Charlie's Angel movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all time capsule movies, and this movie feels like a time capsule to another time.
So we start off in Hong Kong, where we meet our spy protagonists, FDR and Tuck, and their mission is to apprehend the Heinrich brothers, get the device. And then we get a little taste of their personalities as they enter this fancy party. FDR is very outgoing, Tuck's more introverted. And we also meet, the Heinrich brothers, of whom one of them's name is, what is his? Oh, Carl. Like very German
Friedrich
name.
and Heinrich?
But I definitely thought it's the guy who played Baron von Strucker in Age of Ultron and was in what's that other movie, Valkyrie. I was like, nope, it's the guy from Inglourious Bastards, which they look pretty similar. And apparently he was also
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
he's also, I think, the bad guy in Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, if you remember. He's just kind of stuck playing those Nazi
Hugo
roles.
Stiglitz, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, or Nazi adjacent roles. We also meet Angela Bassett, their boss, who just yells at them all the time.
Yeah.
And they immediately hit on a couple of ladies.
Mm-hmm. Well, FDR does, not so much Tuck.
Come on, Tuck is totally riding along with him. He was totally in on it, which I appreciate because it's another case of the not gays. Have we already talked about this?
Maybe that was just in our conversation. Just in real life, we talked about it.
Okay, because in this movie, we got two guys who like spend all their time together. I thought they lived together. It turns out that they don't.
No.
But they like have no other friends besides each other, and they talk about seeing each other's junk at one point. So, I can see some studio executive. I know the premise of the movie is they're both in love with the same woman, but I can see them at least being bi for each other. We'll do that fan edit along with the horror movie fan edit.
But yeah, so as they're entering the party, we hear shots fired. There's a big gunfight. They're both good at the action. And that makes me think about, all right, how many spy movies has Chris Pine been in? All right, Jack Ryan, The Contractor, All the Old Knives, this. I think his character in Wonder Woman is a spy too.
I mean, sort of.
Well, he shouts out,
scout.
I'm a spy.
Actually, I think he does do spying,
yeah. He shouts it out when he gets the lasso of truth around him.
So the action is good. There's a part I really like where Tuck is hanging from the edge of the building. No railings. I don't know. Yeah. Someone decided not to put any railings in the helipad. FDR punches the bad guy. The bad guy drops the case, and in one smooth shot, Tuck grabs it. And I don't know how they did that. It looked really good.
Yeah. And the other brother, like, base jumps off the top of the roof, and the brother who gets pushed off by FDR lands on a car at the bottom of the building. So much for covert.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, okay, his brother's going to want revenge. I can see where this is going.
Yep. And then we meet our female main character, Lauren, played by Reese Witherspoon, who works in consumer products, and she's testing out like frying pans and other things and seeing what's the best thing.
It's almost like it's a character insight.
And then we go to the CIA field office in LA. The boys are in trouble with the boss, as you said, Angela Bassett. So that made me think, is this a prequel to Mission Impossible Fallout, where she's the CIA boss, and then the rest of them where she's the president? And I couldn't remember, is Angela Bassett in Night and Day? And I was like, nope, that's Viola Davis. That's the other Amanda Waller.
Yeah, seriously.
Did you remember that Angela Bassett played Amanda Waller in Green Lantern?
No, I did not remember that.
So yes, they both played Amanda Waller. Yeah.
I recently saw the Naked Gun remake, and CCH Pounder is his boss.
Yes. There you go, another Amanda
Waller. Yeah, but I'm like, she's going to be playing a cop's boss for the rest of her life at this rate.
Yeah. Well, have you seen Warehouse 13 with CCH Pounder is also in like the big boss role of a secret organization.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Yeah. That's hilarious. I know, I was thinking of The Shield. which
Yeah.
I've never seen. But anyway,
Either
so
either.
this CIA field office, even by Hollywood standards, is beyond nice.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so because of the whole, not covert nature of the operation, the boys are grounded.
Yeah, and FDR is like shocked that he's grounded. He cannot believe it, which to me is funny because he's a total Captain Kirk type.
He is,
Surely
yeah.
he must have been aware that this was a possibility, that this could happen.
Yep, yep.
So I don't know.
All right, so we cut back over to Lauren, who has an awkward encounter with an ex. She runs into him on the street, and he's got a fiance with a giant ring. And then she goes into this sushi place where they all know that she's sushi for one, and that's what they call her.
This was right out of a Hallmark movie, seeing as how we just did one. She's very
Yeah.
single and she's jealous of people who are in relationships,
No,
which
she
is
just
such a likable character trait.
It's not that she's jealous. Well, maybe she's a little jealous, but it's also just like it's the awkwardness of seeing your ex with someone who is now engaged. They're not engaged to. That's just so awkward.
Especially when we learn later that he cheated on her and that's why the relationship didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah. And that she moved across the country for him. Of course, her ex and new fiance end up sitting right next to her at sushi, and the ex is like, "Oh yeah, where's Ken, your surgeon, boyfriend?" And the sushi chef is just, "No, sushi for one, always sushi for one." Yeah.
Well, did you see the sushi chef is named Ken?
No, I did not.
Yeah. He had a name tag that said Ken
That's
on
great.
it.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So the lesson here, folks, is try to avoid telling lies. You get busted.
Yeah, or just tell more believable ones.
Or something.
All right, so the boys are over at FDR's grandmother's house, who is played by Aunt May from the
That
Raimi
was awesome.
movies.
And again, it's just the two of them having a lovely conversation off by themselves. Just saying.
Hey, guys can be close friends. It's fine.
True. They also work together, obviously.
Yeah,
We discussed
yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. And we also get here more of a taste of their personalities. Tuck is definitely the more romantic one, and FDR is more shallow. And we find out that Tuck has a kid, but his baby mommy couldn't work things out.
There's also a part where Aunt May wants them to date. FDR can't even imagine what it's like to be in love, which is a little sad,
Mm-hmm.
I must say.
Yep. And then we go and see their, respective lives apart from each other.
Yeah, and clearly they're taking bribes from a foreign government because their apartments are absurdly nice.
Oh my god! Like FDR's has his roof is the bottom of a swimming pool, and there's a beautiful woman swimming just right past him, above him rather.
Yeah, I bet the CIA director could not afford an apartment that nice, let alone just some random guy in it.
And this is in L.A. too.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, jeez. And we see that Tuck's kid is in a martial arts class, and there's like a really intensive coach/dad who's there and is telling his kid to beat up Tuck's kid.
Yeah, a karate dad.
Yeah. And then we meet Tuck's ex, whose name is Katie, I think, something like that.
Katie.
Yeah. Who's played by the actress from Timeless. You ever watch Timeless?
No, what is that?
It's a time travel show. It's got her. It's got Matt Lanter, aka voice of Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars, and it's really good.
What is so good about it?
Just the way they do the time travel and have there's a secret organization and there's a diary. It's well done time travel show, I'd say.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they go back to various time periods. They have one where they go back to the moon landing. Another one when they go and meet Ian Fleming. So yeah, it's fun.
Oh, so it's like Doctor Who where they meet.
It is very Doctor Who-esque. Yeah.
All right, interesting. I've been showing my wife American science fiction because I like it. She's not so into it, but she liked Back to the Future. And this week I showed her The Voyage Home, Star Trek, which was a big hit.
Nice.
A big hit. So there's a chance.
Costumes from a couple years back finally make sense to her?
Yeah, she thought it was great. This is funny. And she said I looked like old Captain Kirk, but not young Captain Kirk, old Captain Kirk, which I don't know how to take that.
I think it's the hair. His hair is just different when he gets old. It's more curly, which is like yours.
That's exactly what she said. I wasn't going to mention
Oh,
that part, but it's
okay.
true. Yeah.
It's not that you look old. It's just, although how old was Shatner by that point?
Yeah, it's okay. He does look old in the remastered, Paramount streaming version of the
Uh,
movies.
uh,
They all look a lot older. But anyway, so they leave the dojo, and again, it's the nicest dojo I've ever seen. It's no karate strip mall. It's a whole building that looks like a pagoda. I just thought that was funny. This movie's very
yeah.
Hollywood land. Everything's super nice. Everyone's attractive.
Oh yes, we meet Lauren's friend, who's played by Chelsea Handler, who's probably the worst character in this movie.
At least she's got some personality. I'm going to give her that.
Too much
And
personality.
she's a walking failed Bechdel test. All she ever wants to talk about is men.
Mm-hmm. Back to the boys. They both see like this same online ad for an online dating site, and Tuck's interested, but FDR is like, change the channel.
Yeah, I mean, FDR doesn't need online dating because he just
Yeah.
goes out and picks up every woman he sees, apparently.
And then, so yeah, Lauren's friend, whose name I do not remember, made Lauren a very trashy online dating profile. Everyone in her office sees it, but then she sees who's swiped left or right, whichever way you swipe. I don't actually know which one's the
Well, no, this
pass
is
and which one's.
pre-Tinder. This is
Is it real?
pre-Tinder. Yeah.
Okay.
There's yeah.
She matched up with Tuck.
Yeah, I never used this kind of online dating, but it was pre-Tinder, pre-swiping. That's what it means where it's a public profile. Anybody can see it. You don't have to go through a bunch of people to find it. It's just a different way of doing things. It's very 2012, like the movie itself.
I never did any sort of online dating, so I like don't know necessarily.
Well, I met my wife that way, so don't let anyone tell you it doesn't work.
I'm not knocking it. No, it's worked for a lot of people I know, and a lot of great couples like you. Yeah, like you and your wife. But I just never tried it.
Yeah, no, that's more aimed at our audience.
Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so FDR is chastising Tuck about going on that site, and he actually says it's poor operational security. You're putting all your personal information out there.
It's true, but that's just life, the way it works now. And he had no idea, I'm sure, what was going to come with social media. It's going to get crazy. Yeah. But there's a little bit of codependence here where he literally wants to come on the date. I'm like, dude, come on. You got to let it go. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So we see Tuck and Lauren's first date, and FDR is around the corner at a video store waiting to see how it goes. And I was like, wow, a video rental store. That's retro.
Yeah, another time capsule. I think in 2012 they were already on their way out. I have a feeling. But something interesting here is Lauren asks Tuck to tell her something personal.
Yeah.
She asks him a bunch of personal questions, including, like, have you killed anybody? And he says, not this week. But the thing is, she doesn't tell him anything personal in response.
Well, at least not that we see.
That? I guess it could have been edited. We watched the normal version, not the extended edition.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
I also liked in the video rental place they had Young Frankenstein on the TV playing, talking about love. Have you ever seen Young Frankenstein? Great movie.
Only
I love it.
Like parts of it.
You should watch the whole thing. It's good.
I'll show it to my wife. We do watch classic movies.
After a pretty successful first date, Lauren goes into the video rental store and like runs into FDR, and they're a little flirty. We find out that FDR is a cinephile. He like recommends a Hitchcock movie, one of the lesser known, second tier in Lauren's opinion, Hitchcock. And she sees right through FDR, can already tell what his tactics are, and how he's like scouting out, the video rental, and like calls out a few different women and why he shouldn't go after them.
Yeah, so she's really got his number. So the whole premise of this movie is that he falls for her without knowing that Tuck went on a date with her.
Yeah.
Which I don't really buy, that Tuck would go on a date and not show the picture of the one he's going on a date with his bestest buddy. You know what I mean?
I didn't even think about that.
Because later they realize they're dating the same woman. Yeah.
This is also like pre-smartphones or like a large, so it's not like you just say, "Oh, look, there she is on my phone," kind of deal. They have to
Right.
both have to
But
find like a photo of her later on.
yeah, well, it's important because otherwise, if FDR knows that it's the same woman that Tuck went on the date with,
Then
then
he's just a
he's like a
douche.
total like dick. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I mean,
yeah.
he kind of is anyway. They both are, but more about that later. Actually, no, we'll talk about it now.
Yeah, right. Oh, this super sketchy. Yes, FDR has a tech guy hack into the video rental database to get Lauren's details, which is so sketchy. Also, actually, I do remember you having to have like an ID or credit card to like get a rental card, but they wouldn't store that. They would just,
Hmm.
the photos and everything would take, at least not that I thought of. So that's a
Yeah. Well, it
little,
gets a lot worse. He's wasting government resources,
yeah,
and it's illegal.
yeah, yeah.
And what's
And
amazing
then
is the movie knows this. They talk about it later. They just don't care.
Yeah. So, and then FDR and Tucker both like looking up details about their respective girls who they don't realize is the same girl. And they're like, "Oh, do you want to see?" So we get that moment just later on. They show each other the pictures and it's the same girl. And we get some back and forth between them of like, "How do you knew? No, I didn't know." But they agree on like ground rules. We can't tell her that we know each other and we can't sleep with her.
Yeah, so this is turning into one of those like teen movies. I can't think of one right now. Isn't there a teen movie where two guys have a bet on like who can sleep with this girl first? Does that sound familiar?
I'm sure it does, but I can't think of what movie that is.
Yeah, it's one of those movies like She's the Man or She's All That or something like that. But you also skipped a part where FDR shows up at Lauren's work and like
Oh, yes.
harasses her in
Oh,
front of a bunch
yes.
of people. That was crazy. Put some scary music underneath it, and you got yourself a horror scene.
Yep, yep, yep. And actually, in my notes, I have, and you thought Night and Day was creepy.
Well, Night and Day is worse
Is it
because he
though?
like follows her around a lot more than this.
Yeah, but he doesn't plant surveillance on
Okay,
her.
well, also, but in Night and Day, she's like, "Don't follow me, like, leave me alone," which just doesn't happen here.
I don't know. I
At
think
least
this
not
is
right
somehow
away.
worse. It gets worse.
It's because it's two of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Heinrich goes to a tailor in Savile Row with a piece of FDR's suit and tries to find out, all right, this is a rare fabric. Send it to someone in LA. So now Heinrich knows where to go. And I like, so speaking of codependent, FDR and Tuck apparently have a standing appointment to play rock band on, whatever night. And so he's like waiting
That was
for Tuck
great.
to come over, but Tuck's on a date with Lauren at Coney Island. And FDR is clearly very upset. He's leaving voicemails. He seems a little stalker girlfriendy.
Yeah, he says 14 can't say it, messages, which is crazy. And so something occurred to me here, Christian. So Lauren swiped on, we're close enough to it,
Yeah.
Tuck
Mm-hmm.
first. And she basically had to be convinced by FDR to give him her number. So clearly, I feel, at least at this point, she likes Tuck more, and
Sure.
FDR is being a dick by not letting it go.
Yeah.
Bro code violation, as they said in 2012.
Oh, that
Do
is
people
very
still say the bro
2012.
code, or is that gone?
No, that's gone. I think once they made it into an actual book from How I Met Your Mother, the Bro Code, which I think I still have a copy somewhere. I think that it just got over commercialized, and now it's just not a used terminology.
It's not cool anymore.
No, no. Where was I? Oh yes. So oh yeah. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
they're at the circus. They're holding
yeah.
hands. They do trapeze flying. This is interesting because Lauren's like afraid of everything. She was like the girl from Christmas Charade, where she can't like leave her house, but then she's flying around on a trapeze all of a sudden.
I never got that opinion of her. I
There's a
thought it was
little bit
in.
of dialogue.
I didn't get that vibe from her. I got that she researches everything intensely, both in her job and her personality. But I never got that she was like sheltered. Yeah, but the trapeze thing did remind me of The Spy Who Dumped Me. The ending of that, remember, where
Yeah,
Kate
yeah, yeah,
McKinnon's on
yeah.
the trapeze.
Yeah. At the end, when they're lying on the net and making out, I was like, are they gonna like bang right here at the circus? I forgot about the agreement that they weren't going to.
So Lauren calls her friend, and she says that she feels weird about dating two guys. Tuck is in the office, and some colleagues are looking for him, and he said, "Oh, he's on a date." And then they say, "Oh yeah, that guy's an assassin. He goes after everything."
Yeah.
So now Tuck is worried about FDR and decides to put surveillance on him.
Right. So he's spying on Lauren and on his good friend.
Mm-hmm. And she's not spying on Lauren yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he works up to that.
Yeah. FDR brings Lauren to a club, and he's got the VIP treatment. He's saying hi to the bouncer, to all the bartenders, to the DJ, has them put up a table right near for him, and she sees right through all of it, calls him out, and she's about to leave, but then sees her ex from before and has FDR kiss her so she doesn't have to talk to them and to make it seem like she's actually with someone. And he goes along with it, pretends to be a neurosurgeon, and then that's when FDR gets the story about Steve, her ex.
Yeah, you might call it a Christmas charade. But also in this part where they're at the club, the dialogue is too fast for me to write it down a lot, but I feel like FDR was trashing Lauren a little bit. One might even call it negging if you're online enough. Because doesn't he say things like, "Oh, I get it. You're too old or tired or whatever to go to clubs and be cool like me"? Doesn't he say something like that?
There's a little bit of that, yeah.
Does it sound familiar? Yeah. So that was interesting.
Negging, wow.
2012, what can I say?
To quote Kingsman, wow, negging. I haven't seen that since the noughties.
Let's talk about this. Did you ever read the book The Game, where that comes from?
No. I know it, though, but I know of it, rather. But
you know what it is?
Oh, yeah. It's a pickup artist book.
I did read it. No, it's not. It's not. What it's about is it's about a journalist who joins the pickup artist community.
Right. Okay, sorry. That's right, yeah.
And he learns all of their techniques, and he gets really good at it, and he sleeps with a lot of women, and he learns it doesn't make him happy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a story of what happens the day after you get what you think you always wanted.
Okay, all right.
So that was interesting. Yeah.
The FDR confronts Tuck about using surveillance on him. And then the boss comes in with a mission. We find out that Carl is trying to get smuggled into the country. And that Ivan Sokhanov is who he's trying to get him to smuggle him in. Tuck and FDR decide to go on full recon and operations for their dates with Lauren. Bring in outside, some teams.
I love how the stuff with Heinrich is not even a secondary
plot.
It's like a tertiary plot. You can tell the writers really don't care, and they just had to put it in because it's a spy movie.
Yeah, but this is such a waste of government resources. And we see FDR and Tuck installing bugs while Lauren is there. It's a nice oneer. I did say that. I like that. Because you see them both avoiding Lauren and each other.
Even though it doesn't make any sense. Why would they just do it when she's not home?
So back on the actual mission, the boys are given an address for Ivan Sokhanov, who's getting Carl into the country. It's a club. And there's a private poker game. We get a shootout, and then they capture Ivan.
Yeah. Oh, I also had a quick observation. When Lauren is dancing in her kitchen and they're planting bugs, my wife said she has 3 mixers.
That is interesting, though, because she's you would think being in consumer products, she'd know which one is the best one and just get that one and not 3 of them.
Well, my explanation is she gets a lot of free stuff because she tests products. Kind of like how doctors get a bunch of pens. We didn't look that closely, but yeah.
But yeah, so after they've captured Ivan, both of the boys' surveillance teams, who are not monitoring Lauren, contact both of them. We find out Lauren's calling her friend for an urgent talk, and Lauren's showing pictures of both of them to her friend. And then FDR's in the surveillance van. Tuck finds the van easily and says, "All right, well, you're here, might as well share resources." And Lauren is comparing both of the guys. And this is where we get the joke about.
Yeah, it's funny. She trashes one of them, the other one laughs. She trashes the other one, the first one laughs.
Yeah.
That's probably the best part of the movie.
I enjoyed that, yeah. And so she gives herself a deadline, 1 week, and then she has to make a decision.
That's right. Which is good. A time lock.
Yeah, there you go. So we get more surveillance and research on Lauren that they're doing. This is where I start to hear some echoes of Bane in Tuck's voice.
Yeah. What does he say?
I don't know, but it just sounded very, very much like Bane. So, yeah, FDR finds out that her dad used to collect Camaros. FDR takes her on a Camaro driving course. Oh no, Tuck does that. And then FDR finds out her favorite artist is Gustav Klimt, so he gets a bunch of the art somehow, probably using government resources, and gets them in a warehouse, and she gets to see all of them. And this part I liked, where he's getting fed lines by his surveillance team about what the actual pieces are, but then Tuck hacks in and starts feeding him wrong info. I enjoyed that.
It's great. I wish the whole movie could be like that. The whole movie should have been them going on dates and the other one sabotaging the other one trying to make it work. The problem is, and we also get this when they're going to sleep together, and then FDR turns on the apparently torrential sprinklers that cause like torrential rain and presumably destroys all of his friend's stuff.
Right?
The problem with it, though, and I know it's a movie, so please don't tell me I'm aware it's a movie.
Okay.
Lauren comes off like an idiot that she can't figure out that something's up.
Why things keep going wrong.
Not only why things keep going wrong, but she says, I like this artist. And then suddenly, conveniently, this guy is also really into the artist.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, really? Really?
Yeah.
And does she ever find out that they spy on her? In the whole movie?
I don't think so.
I don't think she does.
No.
Yeah. Maybe it's in the extended edition.
Yeah, maybe. Lauren says that FDR is not sensitive enough, so he takes her to a pet shelter to try to show his sensitive side. And I like that he treats it like the club where he's like hiding all his people, but he obviously doesn't know any of the people at the pet shelter, so he gives them wrong names. Funny. And they'll stare at him. Who the hell are you talking to?
How are you doing, Betty? And she's like,
he
what?
Gets attacked by one of the shelter dogs.
Yeah. And someone finally points out that this is unconstitutional.
Yeah. Tuck she overhears that she doesn't think he's too safe, so he takes her paintballing, and I saw this coming. So right up at the front, she talks about muzzle awareness. Keep that pointed away from me.
Right.
Tuck's not wearing any protective gear, and it takes me a second to realize that they're all playing against a bunch of kids, and he's just like mowing them down.
Yeah, he goes a little too far.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that she says he's safe because, not to get back to the trapeze thing.
Yeah, right?
I mean, that's not super safe, but he could have done something like taking her for a motorcycle ride or literally anything that doesn't involve hurting other people.
Yeah, so. And do paint grenades exist? Is that a real thing in paintball?
It was pretty funny, though. I think they do exist, but not like that. Not in the way they showed in the movie.
And then, of course, Lauren doesn't get a single shot off until Tuck tells her the safety is on. Do paintball guns have safeties? I actually don't know. I've never gone paintballing.
Really? I've been a few times, and they do have safeties.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure if that was just the thing,
Yeah. If people say it's like getting stung by a bee, yeah, that's probably accurate. Getting shot in the crotch by one would hurt a lot.
Ooh, and especially almost point-blank range, too. Anyway, so here, I'm having more fun when they get hurt or bad things happen to the boys. I'm not really rooting for either of them at this point. I'm just like, they should not be doing this. I'm enjoying when the bad things happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little interesting seeing Tom Hardy as a goofy slapstick comedy guy. We don't see that very often.
No, not really.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where none of the characters are especially likable.
And so at this point, Lauren talks to her friend, says she needs to have a sex tiebreaker. Of course, both the boys hear this, and they reiterate their deal, but both decide that they're going to go back on their deal. So this is where they, again, sabotage each other. You mentioned the, what was it? The sprinklers. Also, they play Sabotage by Beastie Boys, which, how many Chris Pine movies have the song Sabotage in them? 3 that I can count.
At least 3. Yeah. Which is pretty funny. It's also very on the nose because he's sabotaging them, his buddy, while he does it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of dating information here.
Okay.
So when I was looking to get married and I was doing a lot of dating, I read a lot of books, listened to a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
It's because I needed book knowledge about dating as well as more experience doing it. Now, one of the things I learned from this is if you're dating an American woman, okay, there are cultural differences in different places that you go. But if we're talking about a blonde, professional, LA dwelling woman like Lauren,
Yeah.
okay, if you don't at least try to sleep with her by the third date, she will think you're not interested.
Interesting.
Okay, that is something that I learned. It is something that I actually experienced. Not to
Huh.
get too personal,
Okay.
which is to say, I didn't try to sleep with a woman on a third date, and she thought I wasn't interested and bailed.
Huh.
Okay,
Interesting.
so that's a little bit of information. I bring this up to say these guys have been dating Lauren for at least a couple of weeks because they've gone on a lot of dates,
Right.
and by now I'm surprised that it hasn't come up,
Yes, but
especially
they
by
also look
2012
like
standards.
Chris Pine and Tom Hardy.
What does that mean? Like,
I
all the
was
more reason why she would think it's weird that they haven't made a move yet.
maybe. I don't know. Yeah, well, and in Revenge for the Sprinklers, Tuck trank darts FDR. Like, wow, that seems like a step above the sprinklers, just for me for some reason.
At least he didn't destroy his whole apartment. But he does say 4 inches to the left, and I would have been dead.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm like. That seems more extreme. Anyway, so the boys are going to interrogate Ivan, or at least attempt to, but they kind of let their issues get in the way. But they find out that Heinrich is now in LA.
They joke about torturing him with pliers. Ha ha, very funny.
So FDR brings Lauren to his grandparents' place. Nana takes Lauren away to chat. We find out FDR's backstory. His parents died when he was 9, and that Lauren's the first girl that FDR's brought there. FDR shows more of his sensitive side, and after that, FDR and Lauren have sex at his place. And the tech guys are like creepily watching. They question it,
Well,
but they still watch.
yeah, well, I mean, come on. But also, what's amazing is FDR knows about the surveillance and does it anyway, which is, I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. But my wife made a prediction here.
Yeah.
She said, see, FDR brought Lauren home. That's why she's going to end up with him.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
Yes.
why, that shows that he's serious, and that's why they're going to end up together. Okay, well, actually, we'll talk about now. What did you predict? What did you think was going to happen at this
See,
point?
I'd seen this before, and I could not remember who she ended up with, actually.
Okay.
But at this point, I was like, I feel like it's Tom Hardy for some reason, but I don't remember why.
Did you think it was going to be like Pearl Harbor, where one of them was going to die and make the choice for her?
I didn't remember either of them dying, so I was like, no, that's not it.
I thought she was going to end up with neither of them. She was going
Yeah.
to be like, you guys spied on me. You guys did all this creepy stuff. I don't need either one of you. You know, I'm out of here.
Actually, in my notes I have here, I actually don't remember who she ends up with. Like, right at this
Well,
moment.
see, there you go.
So good timing on
Yeah.
that question, too. So the tech guys tell Tuck that they didn't get a recording from last night, and they're like, no, seriously, you don't want to see it. And then say, all right, just tell me what happened. Like, well, FDR entered the premises, and then he entered the premises. Like, you know what? That's actually pretty good. I laughed
Yeah,
at
that's
that.
some pretty clever dialogue. And I like how the team tries to like help him with his feelings.
Yeah.
Try to like talk him down.
So FDR is back at his place, and he's watching Titanic because now he's in love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Although maybe not. Maybe he is a cinephile, so maybe he just likes watching Titanic. I don't know.
I don't think so. He even rejects his booty call that shows up.
Yeah, which this reminds. You ever see the movie Down with Love with Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger?
No.
What
is that?
It is basically a modern day, and by modern day I mean like 2005 or 4. It's a redo of one of those like Buck Hudson comedies from the 60s.
Okay, interesting.
And there's a recurring bit where Ewan McGregor's character, who's the ladies' man about town, has attendants that he'll see every so often. And so when FDR has a flight attendant who comes in as like she's on a layover, this just makes me think of that.
Yeah. Do you think she was the one swimming in his pool earlier?
Could have been. We don't know. Yeah. How long? I don't know. How long has it been? Usually, it's probably just a monthly cycle for the layovers.
My guess is it's a deleted scene.
But yeah, so he turns her down. Tuck calls out FDR when they're in the office and says that he actually really has feelings for Lauren and how he brought her to Nana so that you could get into her pants.
I like how they have this conversation very loudly in the middle of their office.
Right? So Tuck, he doesn't have a big family or a grandmother to bring over to, but he can introduce Lauren to his kid, which, how long have they been dating at this point? Like, this seems real soon to introduce a kid.
No, I don't think so. Not by dating standards.
Really?
It's been at least a few weeks. Unless they go on a date every day, which I don't think so.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, she gave herself a timeline of a week.
I don't know. I mean, it's Hollywood land. Maybe they go on a date every night. In which
I don't.
case, yeah, it would all kind of check out.
It
So
it it seemed real quick for to introduce a kid. Anyways, but that was his move. So Lauren brings Tuck and his kid to her office. They get to test out a bunch of consumer goods. And, to have a water hose fight, and then Tuck drives Lauren home, and they're making out. And as they're making out, I like this. The Tuck's taking out all the bugs that FDR planted.
right, he also drops the L word.
Right? That yeah.
Right.
Which I don't. I was like, is he honest about this, or is he just using this to try to get level with FDR? The fact that I'm questioning that is making me wonder. Is like, oh, maybe they don't end up together.
I think he means it. He's not as manipulative as FDR. He's not a ladies' man, but then the surveillance, apparently, he'll do whatever it takes in order to win.
Right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. There's another talk with Lauren's friend who actually has good advice here. I was like, oh wow, she
For a
actually
change.
yeah. The advice was, don't be with the best guy. Be with the guy who makes you the best you, or something like that.
Yeah, and I've heard this too. It's choose the person who makes you feel better about yourself, makes you the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
The trouble is the movie doesn't follow through on it. She ends up choosing FDR. I don't see how FDR makes her a better version of herself.
No, maybe the other way around. She makes
Well,
FDR a better
okay.
version of him, but that doesn't really, yeah, that's not the reason for. And so the boys are, fighting, and this brings up bigger issues, and now their friendship and work partnership is over, and like what they're like
Yeah.
filing for transfers. Lauren calls Tuck, and FDR looks so sad.
Yeah. Sad
So,
music too.
yeah, yeah. So the tech team is watching the previous night's surveillance, and like FDR and Tuck both shut down their surveillance teams, but Tuck's team is just clearing the last bit before there's filing the last bit before they clear it, and we get a classic zoom and enhance, and
Yeah, on surveillance footage this time.
yeah, see Heinrich in the background of the footage. FDR, oh, it was FDR was watching. That's right. Finds Tuck and Lauren at the restaurant, and this is like, did you watch a lot of Friends back in the day?
I have maybe seen one episode of Friends in my whole life.
There is an episode in like one of the later seasons of Friends where Joey and Ross end up in this situation. They're dating the same girl,
Yeah.
and then there's a big long scene of where they pretend not to know each other, and they end up at this restaurant together, and then they start mentioning very specific call outs to each other's past, and to try to make the girl not like them, and like this just sounds exactly like that.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like they ripped it off. That's basically what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. FDR tells Tuck that Heinrich is in LA. Tuck thinks it's a ploy to get him out of this, and they have a fight in the restaurant while Lauren is hyperventilating in the restroom.
It's another great part. Lauren finally breaks after all this insanity that's entered her life. And the fight is pretty good. They destroy the whole restaurant. It's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. Lauren
There's a
comes
part where
out
somebody
of
gets thrown through a plate glass window.
yeah, and Lauren comes out of the restaurant and sees the place demolished, and like also overhears that they call each other friends, and the fact that she doesn't even like react to the restaurant being destroyed, but then just that
Yeah.
like it catches her that you two know each other. That's what's tripping you up. That's not the fact that this whole place is demolished and they're lying each other and they're beaten to heck. Yeah, no,
Clearly, Lauren's been pushed to the edge of sanity by this.
fair enough.
She finally does something that makes sense and she leaves.
Yeah, yeah.
Should have done it a long time ago.
And she has Chelsea Handler pick her up. But as soon as she does, Heinrich comes and she kidnaps Lauren and her friend, and calls Tuck on Lauren's phone. And we find out that they both put trackers on Lauren, although Tuck only put the tracker in her phone, not on Lauren herself.
Yeah, that was
Which
pretty good.
is minor degrees better, but not really.
No, it's the same. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, so they get a Jeep and drive after her. FDR jumps from one car to the other, grabs Lauren,
Sweet.
knocks out the goon that's in the back of the car, and then Tuck shoots out the friend's tires and launches her into lake. That seems
It
pretty dangerous.
was awesome. Whatever. I don't care. It was great.
So more car chase and gunfights. Tuck's kid sees him on the news.
This was also like night and day, right?
Oh yeah,
When the
yes,
bad
yes.
guys are chasing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They run out of road, and now the boys are friends again.
Yeah. There's a part say, I love you, man. There's a part where Lauren says, I'm the Yoko, and I had to explain to my wife what that meant.
That's funny. That's funny. I think I enjoy either when they were friends or when they were having that, being really good at, working together, or I enjoyed when they were just ruining each other. Oh yeah, so they run out of road. Heinrich is trying to ram them, and then Lauren has some useful advice because she tells them to shoot out the headlights because she knows on that model of car, if they hit the headlights,
Yeah.
the airbags will instantly activate, and so they do that, and the car is exploding, explodes, and it starts rolling towards Lauren like sideways. She's in the middle. On one side is Tuck, one side is FDR, and they're both shouting, "Come here, come here!" And then we see the car roll off the edge of the interstate, and we see that she had gone to FDR, and news cameras from a news helicopter capture them. So I guess their covert careers are over now?
Presumably, yes. That's if they don't end up in federal prison for all of
Right.
the abuse of government
Right.
time that they did.
Yeah. So we see Lauren and FDR kiss. Tuck goes back to his kid's martial arts class and gets back at the karate dad. And now Tuck is apparently getting back together with his ex, which seems real sudden.
Well, this is also interesting too that she didn't know that he
Yeah.
was a CIA this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now she's like, "Oh wow, you can inflict violence on your fellow man. I'm totally interested now."
Well, maybe we don't really get the reasons for why they broke up. Maybe he was gone all the time, had no good explanations for this sort of thing, and because of that travel. So maybe there's actually when it's revealed, it explains a lot of things about why it didn't work, and said that if she knows now, then they can make it work again. I don't know.
And a little bit convenient so that he gets a happy ending.
Yeah.
And isn't just left sad and alone because the girl chose him. I did like the way that they did that, though, that she had to pick one of them to run and hide with, and that she was the one who saved the day and stopped the car. I did notice also no body for Heinrich.
Anyway, so at some point later, in a chopper, although the interior didn't look like a chopper to me.
Oh, really? I don't think I noticed that.
Yeah, it looked
I
like
don't know,
a
it was fine, yeah.
the interior looked like one of those like a C-130 kind of things where you see the military airplane with the ramp in the back. That's usually what they're jumping out of when you see people do these kind of jumps, at least in the military movies. But the exterior they showed was like a two-bladed chopper. But I don't know that much about helicopters, so maybe it does look like that on the inside. Anyway, so they're on a mission, so I guess their covert careers are not over.
No. Well, I mean, I guess they're more like commandos now.
Maybe.
That's
Anyway,
what I
so
act
Lauren
like it.
calls, and we find out that they got engaged, and this is where,
Right.
Tuck FDR tells Tuck and says, "Yeah, why don't you be my best man?" Although let's not make it weird. The fact that we both slept with her, and this is where FDR reveals that he slept with Katie, and we find out that Tuck actually never did sleep with Lauren. He only let Tuck or FDR think that he slept with Lauren. So now Tuck's pissed off that FDR slept with his wife, and this is where he really sounds like Bane. You slept with my wife?
Oh, yeah. Well, I also think it was interesting that they were talking to Lauren over an open line while her presumably not cleared friend is sitting right next to her.
Yeah, that too. So they jump out the plane, and with that, our movie ends.
That's right. And there's no post-credit scene where they go to federal prison.
I looked. I was like, all right, let me fast forward. Nope, nothing.
Actually, my streaming service, HBO Max, cut out like halfway through the credits. It just stopped showing it.
Okay, wow.
Spy fact versus spy fiction.
All right, so now it is time for our spy fact versus fiction.
I've just
There's
said
quite a
one
few
thing.
things
Oh,
here.
you got something? Oh, let me
All
go
right.
first then.
Go
So I
first.
got, there was I think it was in the last scene where the car explodes because of gasoline. That's, the common thing you see, that will a gas tank of the car explode if you fire a bullet at it? And so I went
Hmm.
to found on scienceabc.com, and it basically says that movies and video games are often show cars blowing up when their gas tanks are shot. However, this is not actually possible, as gas tanks are very well protected from fire and explosions. In order for a fire to start in a gas tank, there would need to be a lot of oxygen present, which is not usually the case. Additionally, the bullets used in regular guns are not powerful enough to ignite a fire in a gas tank. However, if incendiary bullets are used, it is more likely for a fire to start. And I remember that one of the episodes of Mythbusters, I think they were testing out like James Bond myths about like if you fire at a gas tank, not specifically in a car, but just as a tank, and like they tried it, didn't work, and it wasn't until they like fired a minigun with tracer rounds that it actually exploded.
Very nice. Well, that also reminds me of it's kind of hard to light a gas station on fire as well. It's almost
Uh-huh.
like there's a reason why we use gasoline and they don't explode all the time
Yeah.
because like they do in the movies.
All right. What do you got?
So this story reminded me of a article. And I went I found the article and here it is. September 27th, 2013. A year
Okay,
after the
after
movie
the
was
movie.
made. Yeah. Washington Reuters. At least a dozen U.S. National Security Agency employees have been caught using secret government surveillance tools to spy on the emails or phone calls of their current or former spouses and lovers in the last decade, according to the internal watchdog. The practice is known shorthand as Love It and was disclosed by the Office of the Inspector General.
Huh, I don't remember this.
I'll go on. Yeah. In one instance in 2005, a military member of the NSA queried 6 email addresses of a former American girlfriend the first day he obtained access to the data collection system. He testified that he wanted to practice on the system and gained no information. In another instance, a foreign woman who was employed by the US government suspected that her lover, an NSA civilian employee, was listening to her phone calls. She shared her suspicion with another government employee who reported it. A couple more. Another civilian employee caught abusing the system by looking at the phone numbers of various foreigners she met socially, said she wanted to ensure she was not talking to shady characters. So, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, a couple other things. There's a part where someone goes to an alpaca farm. They mentioned that. Kelly and Steve. I've been to an alpaca
Yeah.
farm with my wife there for her birthday. It's great. It's good
Yeah.
for kids. You may
Huh.
want to give it a try.
Okay.
The whole movie, they're working at a CIA field office in Los Angeles. This is common knowledge. I don't have something for it.
Yeah.
The CIA is not permitted to work on American soil,
Right.
so they have no field offices. But according to legalclarity.org, they do maintain a limited domestic presence to support its foreign intelligence mission, but it doesn't say where.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I know I have a lot. Tom Hardy's spouse would know that he's an officer.
Yeah.
Usually, spouses are the only people who know. Not even parents, but spouses know.
Interesting.
Favorite quotes.
All right, so now it is time for our favorite quotes. The movie quite had a lot of good dialogue.
Yeah.
So,
You want to go first?
sure. So I'll go in reverse order. I think that's the new British invasion right there. Yeah, about him being British. There's a part where Chelsea Handler says, "Do you think Gloria Steinem got arrested and went to prison so you can act like a little bitch?"
That's right. Oh my gosh. The
Yeah. A couple other things. After the big fight in the beginning, somebody says, "Hey, do you think those girls are still here?"
yeah.
After
I
they like
mean,
destroyed the place.
of the one, who do you think said that? It's definitely FDR.
Yeah, it's definitely FDR. And then finally, there's a drone that flies incredibly close to the Camaro on the date. And FDR says, "Did he just give our bird the bird?" I
That was
thought that
pretty
was
good.
clever.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got?
So I had the British invasion one as well. I also got what do you know from the kid? What do you know about fighting? You're just a travel agent. And then Chris Pine says, and in the rental store, I know movies and women. And then I got this. We briefly mentioned this. One of the tech teams says we might have some constitutional issues here, and FDR says Patriot Act. I was like, ah, yes, the gift that keeps on giving, the Patriot Act.
Yeah, a little
And then
political humor we got.
finally, we've got Tuck brings that Lauren to meet his kid, and the FDR was like, "We met, let her meet a kid," and the tech says, "Maybe we could get you a kid, sir, for a day."
Yeah, I know a guy. I know a kid guy. That was pretty good.
Ratings.
Okay, so now it's time for our ratings on a scale of 1 to 10 martinis, 1 being Avengers 1998 level bad, and 10 being even better than Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. How would we rate This Means War? Which I realize they never say This Means War in the whole movie. Weird.
You realize, of course, this means war. That's
Maybe,
my
again,
Daffy
I
Duck.
assume everything that doesn't make sense they left on the cutting room floor. Yeah. Speaking of animals, they never bring the dog back. There's a part where FDR says, "Get out of here, get off the couch," and then we never see him again.
Oh.
The dog he adopted?
No, I'm saying, hopefully the dog, I'm hoping the dog's there somewhere. Maybe Lauren's taking care of the dog.
Yeah, maybe you can't see him. Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think?
Am I going first?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Well, we'll do pros and cons. So the pros are the action is good, but very brief. And some of the dialogue is funny. And the cons are the whole premise of the movie is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are very unlikable. The gender stuff is very dated.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I forgot to mention this. Why did they just make them FBI agents? The exact movie would have worked just as well, and it would have made a lot more sense. At least because of the whole CIA not operating in U.S.
I feel like the FBI agents are more allowed to say that they're FBI agents, so it's not as big of a thing. Unless they're working undercover. Yeah.
Yeah. FBI agents, they're not covert.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's the only reason I can think of. Yeah.
Do I like it as much as Bravo 20? I actually like it less than Bravo 20. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
I don't think it's worth your time unless you love the actors in it.
I mean, I do enjoy Chris Pine.
But it's not horror. It's not bad enough that I would turn it off halfway through or whatever. So that's where I would put it.
So I had a better opinion of it. I looked up on my Letterboxd what I rated this, because I think I did rate it initially, and I had it as 3 out of 5 stars for Letterboxd. I'd go a little lower than that. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10 martinis. I had fun with it. It's an average movie. It is not the worst spy movie I've ever seen. It's definitely not the best, but it's if you just want something fun that you can sort of turn your brain off of, it's fine. The action is good. I feel like I enjoyed the interplay between the two guys more than I did whenever they were interacting with Reese Witherspoon. So anytime the both of them are together, I think that is where the movie's the best, as opposed to when they're trying to do the love, one-on-one stuff with Reese Witherspoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that doesn't happen very often.
I mean, it happens. It happens in the beginning. It happens in the end, and it happens when they're going after each other and trying to sabotage each other. But yeah, so it's a 5 out of 10 martinis. It's fine. It was in that period of where I think there was during that period of time. Like I said, there was a lot of similar movies. It was this, Night and Day, and Killers, which I want to get your take on that one someday in the future. That's got what's her name from Grey's Anatomy and Ashton Kutcher.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, 5 out of 10 martinis.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair, but I was going to be a little bit harsher because the dated gender stuff, I didn't like that.
Fair enough.
That rubbed me the wrong way. Okay, well, happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Yeah, happy early Valentine's Day.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Sorry.
All right, well, thank you all for joining us here on the Spy-Fi Guys. You can find us at social media at the Spy-Fi Guys on Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Instagram, as well as our merch store at redbubble.com. Until next time, I'm Zach.
And I'm Christian.
And we are the Spy-Fi Guys, signing off.
Thank you for listening to the Spy-Fi Guys. If you enjoyed our podcast, please be sure to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The theme song from this podcast is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Films, books, and television shows reviewed by our podcast are the intellectual property of their respective copyright holders, and no infringement is intended.
This is a personal podcast. Any views, statements, or opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and belong solely to the participants. They do not represent those of people, institutions, or organizations that the participants may or may not be associated with in a professional or personal capacity unless explicitly stated. Any views or opinions are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual.
You can find our podcast on social media at The Spy-Fi Guys on Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Instagram.